boy. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to BW Radio, the number one Syracuse Sports Radio right here on YouTube. So happy to be back with you folks once again. Holy crap. We are back. We are back, ladies. I need that hype music again. I need more of that hype music. Come on, give me more of that hype music this morning. Yeah. Yeah. The first BW Radio since November. Holy crap. Yes, the first BW Radio since November. Yes, 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 yes. Wow. I can't even believe that. Alright, what's happening, everyone? Good morning. Alright, kill the music. Alright. What's going on, everyone? My name is Brandon. Welcome to BW Radio, the number one Syracuse Sports Radio right here on YouTube. So happy to be back with you folks once again. The first BW Radio since November of 2025. And, I gotta tell you, it's very weird being back behind the microphone to talk sports. So I guess I don't know exactly where to start other than by thanking you, the people, for being as patient as possible with me, as the past few months have not exactly been the kindest to us. A lot has changed in the past few months. 2026 did not start off to the best of starts. We've had a lot of issues, some personal, some work related issues, some other different stuff. We just want to thank you guys for sticking with us. Obviously, I know it hasn't been easy keeping up with us. I know that for a fact. It's never easy keeping up with us. I know that our schedule is constantly changing all over the place, and so many things are happening in between and in behind the scenes that you guys haven't seen. But you guys may notice that there's a few changes from the November 25th or the November 2025 BW Radio and the April 2026 BW Radio. Um, of course, one of the most notable changes that I guess I should address right off the back is you may notice that I no longer have my co-host. Um, which I will talk about that in a minute. Some other notable changes is you guys now are able to see us on screen, able to talk. Obviously, new background, new everything. A whole bunch of stuff is changing. We missed so much stuff, it's not even funny. But we are here. We are back. We're happy to be back with you folks once again. Um, so I guess let's start by addressing the huge elephants in the room as to where the hell have we been. Um, like I said, a lot of stuff happened behind the scenes. We ended up moving into a new place. We ended up breaking up with our current girlfriend at the time. Um, our landlord, pretty much at our old place, told us that he was giving his place to his mother, and we had to move out, so we had to find a new place. So here we are. We're now in a new place. We're stable again. We're slowly building ourselves back up. And I know that for the longest time we put this show on hiatus because we wanted to improve it and make it better. And I know that one of the major changes was me bringing it back to a one-person show, and I guess I want to address that right now. For anyone thinks that I have an issue with Thomas, I don't have an issue with Thomas Noble. I want to address that right now. Thomas Noble is a dear friend of ours. He's going to continue to be an expert for us. I want that to be addressed right now. Noble's a great guy. Always lucky to have him. Um, but when it comes to this show in particular, when it comes to BWN Radio, usually it's a one-man show. And I wanted to bring that format back because realistically, this show has always been a one-person show. It's no disrespect to Noble. Noble knows exactly what he's talking about, but I also listen back to those old shows and kind of notice that my voice was kind of drowned out in some of the key parts that I wanted to talk about. I've had to skip over a few things when it came to now when it came to the co-host part. Um, so I want to address that right now. I have no harsh feelings towards Noble. It was no like Noble will still be appearing on the show as our expert in Boston sports. Obviously we'll check in with him from time to time. But I want to get BW Radio back to being what it always was, which was me behind this microphone for 10 plus years talking sports the way that I know how to. And if you're new to BW Radio, allow me to introduce you to what BW Radio is. It's me giving a fan perspective while also being somewhat professional in the sense of sports, okay? BW Radio has always been me behind this microphone talking sports the way that I know how to. From a fan perspective and from my perspective, that's just how it's always been. So, again, no disrespect to Noble, no disrespect to any of my experts, no disrespect to the chat. But when you hear an opinion on this show, you're gonna hear it from me. And until I say otherwise, that's just the way it's gonna be. And obviously, we love the fans' opinions. Obviously, we'll read the chat throughout the show. We'll always love, being here. We'll always love being with the fans. We love having new people tune in, including CMWs in the chat. Good morning, CMW. But like I said, it's no shot at Noble. Noble is a fantastic guy, knows what he's talking about when it comes to the NFL and NBA and NHL. But again, I want to get this show back on track to being what it's always been, which has been my show. So, with that respect, I also wanted to address the future of this show and the future of the network. As of right now, BW Radio is back. We were in discussions with another internet radio program. However, we have decided to stay away from it. We figured at this time it was not the best option for us. No offense to Citrus, but I think us being live here on YouTube where everyone can tune in and listen to us and we have a little bit more control over here. It just makes more sense. So BW Radio is back. It's back. It's back. It's back. It's back on the Wednesday slot until certain times change. You guys can see on the side of the screen here, you guys can see the updated BW Radio Network schedule, including the RWO's War and Wrestle Arc, and of course, all that other good stuff. So, we're going to try and be active on this channel as much as we possibly can with new projects, new shorts, new everything that we possibly can. So keep an eye out. New projects are coming soon. We don't know what, but just pay attention to it because trust me, we do have some cool stuff in the pocket that we're going to be trying out here soon. But let's get into what this show is always about, and that's talking sports. And the one thing that I want to talk about is exactly what the hell I've missed since I haven't been on the air because, like I said, the last time we were on the air was November 2025, and a lot has happened. The Seattle Seahawks won the most boring Super Bowl of all time. And if you're telling me that that wasn't the most boring game, I hate to tell you, but that was the most boring game I've ever seen. That was one of the worst games of NFL football I think I've ever seen. I mean, no offense. You could have at least given me a little bit of excitement here. Other than a 29-13, both QBs not having the best of days. I mean, the game didn't really pick up until the fourth quarter when it really started becoming scoring fest. But I do got to give credit to Noble in the respect that, he said that his team was only going to make the first round. And of course, we were dead wrong on that because his team survived, made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Shocking. Let's see, what other facts did we miss? We missed the Giants getting rid of Brian Dable, which thank fucking God, because now they got Jim Harbaugh. And of course, from what I'm hearing, is that some key reports are coming in with some free agents looking to return to the Giants. That's obviously some big news, but of course, I think we need to start with the biggest news, and that, of course, is where we always start, which, of course, is in our favorite place, which is Syracuse Sports. I know one of the major headlines out of Syracuse Sports was not only did Syracuse clean house in terms of hiring a new athletic director for the university, which was desperately needed, but Syracuse basketball finally made the right move. They got rid of Autry after a couple seasons at the helm following Jim Boeheim, the legendary head coach. And all I can say is thank fucking God. Because I could tell you what, if I was to hear that we were going to get one more year of Autry, I was probably going to break someone in half. And I think Syracuse finally made the right decision for once, because the top headline that we have for you folks this morning, which is brought to you guys by our friends at itashacoffee.com. If you guys want to check out itashacoffee.com for yourself, you guys can check them out. Use code the BWN Radio Network at checkout for an awesome discount. We honestly love Itasha Coffee. You guys need to check them out. We love them. They're fantastic. But the top headline that we're starting with is Syracuse basketball officially welcomes home a new head coach in McNamara, who promises to have the Orange return to form. For those of you that don't know this man used to play in the Syracuse Orange uniform, wearing the number 3. You guys can see him with the new athletic director over my shoulder here. He left Syracuse, went to Siena, coached 2 seasons over there, had 23 wins, won an MAAC title, made his first NCAA tournament appearance as a head coach. Obviously, it was a close matchup against Duke in the first round before Duke came back and won it and knocked him out, but still an impressive showing. He spent 14 years learning under the helm of legendary Hall of Fame head coach Jim Boeheim as an assistant head coach, and 1 year under Autry, which honestly, I'm kind of glad that Autry's gone now, because now we finally got a head coach who has been in a Syracuse uniform before, not only as a coach, but as a player. Many people remember McNamara as the rising star that helped save Syracuse back in the 2003 national championship run, wearing the number 3 jersey. McNamara had himself a pretty impressive resume back in the day. Is that how they say it now? Resume, however the hell you want to word it. Really excited for Kai. Well, I'm excited too, because now he's learning under the same man that his father once played for, and of course won a national championship with. And I gotta tell you something. I don't think I've ever been more excited for a head coach, because this was desperately needed. We needed a head coach at the helm here who understands what Syracuse basketball was. And no offense to Coach Autry, but when you're the head coach of a prestigious program that is Syracuse, and you're have nothing to show for it, not even getting Syracuse back to form or getting them back into the NCAA tournament, I think that this is a huge turnaround for Syracuse to get a coach that knows the standard of what Syracuse basketball is. And if you guys want to go by the numbers, how this man knows basketball, well, let me be the one to tell you. He was first in career three-pointers at Syracuse with 400. He was second in career steals with 250. Wait, what is that? 250. I like how my glasses aren't working this morning. With 258 steals. He was third in career assists with 648. He has had 4 teams to have 23 plus wins. He has played in 4 NCAA tournaments, assistant coached in 9 NCAA tournaments, had his jersey retired in Syracuse, the number 3, and now we can officially welcome him home, especially with some words that he had to say at his press conference. And yes, we do have some clips from his press conference. And I think that, and I can tell you what, this clip right here is definitely the clip here. This comes from us from at CuseMBB on Twitter. This is the Syracuse men's basketball Twitter, and if you guys want to hear the full statement itself, we're going to play just a little bit of clips, but this is from Coach McNamara himself, and this is what he had to say about the future of Syracuse basketball.
What am I bringing here? Efficient. We're going to be efficient. We're going to be smart. We're going to have ball security. We're going to be tough, resilient. We're going to have high character. You know, I ask every kid that plays for me in every recruitment, I said, I need your respect and your maturity, non-negotiable. Give me those two things. Give me those two things, we'll get along just fine. But make no mistake, you know why I'm here. Anybody that knows me knows why I'm here. I'm here to win. It's who I am, and it's who I will always be. Let's get this thing going.
Now that, of course, comes from the words of the head coach himself, and boy, oh boy, was that a revamp that Syracuse needed. I mean, no offense to Coach Autry, but we needed a head coach who said, I want to fucking win. And that's the thing. When we had McNamara, it was we wanted to win. And I fully believe it. I think he's going to get some talent from Siena. I think he's going to rebuild this whole Syracuse team. I think that he's going to make sure that Anthony is a huge part of that. I think he's going to get us back to the tournament. And obviously, at his press conference, of course, was the current AD who will be leaving at the end of the season. But not only that, but of course, was legendary head coach Jim Boeheim himself, who had some words to say. And of course, he has nothing but love for Syracuse. And of course, McNamara said it was a dream come true to return to Syracuse. So look, what am I expecting here? Obviously, he's getting handed the keys to a team that was just awful. I mean, if we want to go ahead and talk about it, let's talk about it, because honestly, for me to even sit here and say I'm a Syracuse basketball fan, I am ashamed of it. Syracuse finished with a 15-17 record last season, with a finishing 14th in the ACC conference. Syracuse lost games that they should have won. I want to point that out right now. They lost games that they should have won. There was no excuse for the way that Syracuse played. There was none. I was disgusted by it. You know you're bad when you lose to Wake Forest. You know you're bad when you can barely squeak out a win against SMU. And then you get obliterated by them in the last game of the season. You know you're bad when you lose. I can't even pronounce this team's name. Hofstad? Like, you know it's bad. Syracuse should not be losing these games. They shouldn't. They should not be losing these games. I'm hoping that Coach McNamara has a goal for Syracuse, and that is NCAA tournament. That is the major hope that we have here. But again, we'll have to wait and see what the future holds for Coach McNamara, and we'll see if he's going to bring some players over from Siena to play for him. We'll see how he does in recruiting this season. We'll see what he brings to the table at Syracuse, because he's learned under the best. So we'll see what happens. But we need to move on. And of course, what we need to move on to is, of course, the breaking news that we actually have here. This actually comes from yesterday. Breaking news: Tiger Woods is stepping away from golf to seek treatment following an arrest. 5 days ago, he was arrested on suspicion of DUI following a rollover crash in Florida. A statement on X says that hours after pleading not guilty He made the statement on X saying that he was stepping away, saying that hours, saying that after hours after pleading not guilty in a Florida courtroom, that he is going to be stepping away from golf to focus on his treatment and, of course, getting better. I mean, Tiger, come on. All that pressure being on Melo Sutton. Well, yeah, I mean, when your dad's the only guy to bring a championship to Syracuse, you kind of have that pressure. But getting back to Tiger Woods here, Tiger doesn't exactly have the best record here when it comes to dealing with his issues, and I'm not gonna speak about the man himself because I'm gonna say this right now. Tiger Woods is one of the best golfers to ever play the game. He's made the game interesting for many reasons. Um, but I mean, this guy needs some help. Like seriously, I mean, Tiger Woods hasn't done anything in years. I mean, listen to this. Due to multiple injuries, Woods, who is 50 years old, last competed in the PGA Tour in July of 2024 when he missed the cut at the Open Championship. That was the last time he played golf. He's always been saying how he's going to come back and, return to competition, but what was it here? It says here that he was arrested on suspicion of DUI and refusal to submit to a lawful test stemming from the rollover crash in Florida. The 15-time major champion said in a statement on his social media account, "I am stepping away for a period of time to seek treatment and focus on my health. This is necessary in order for me to prioritize my well-being and work towards lasting recovery. I am committed to taking the time needed to return to a healthier, stronger, and more focused place, both personally and professionally. I appreciate your understanding and support and ask for privacy from my family, my loved ones, and myself at this time." Okay, Tiger, listen to me, man. Just listen to me, Mr. Tiger Woods. I have all the respect in the world for you as a golfer. I do. I think you've changed the game of golf for many people. Okay, I think you've been an inspiration to many people that love golf. But dude, you have some demons that you need to work on, and I'm glad that you're finally realizing that. And I'm surprised that it took a rollover crash to finally open up your eyes here. I mean, look, I have all the respect for the man in the world, right? But I mean, he has been dealing with so much shit. Like, I think he makes more headlines off the golf course than he does on the golf course. And this isn't his first time having trouble with car issues. I do remember that back in the day. But I mean, like Tiger, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? I like if you're really in that bad of a spot, I would say it's time to hang up the clubs, in my opinion, because isn't his kid already playing golf and already doing better than him? I wonder if we see him return to ever with all that's going. I don't think he is. I listen. I'm not a smart man. Okay, I don't know the extent of what Tiger went through during that crash. I don't know the whole ordeal with his DUI. I'm not fully aware of what he was going through. According to authorities, this is a story according to authorities. He was looking down at his cell phone and changing the radio station in his SUV, which caused him not to see a truck slowing down, according to the affidavit that was obtained here. It says that Woods was sweating profusely and his movement was lethargic and slow while she interviewed him. It says here Friday that Woods' breathalyzer test didn't show any signs of alcohol, which, okay. But Woods refused to submit to a urinal or blood test for other drugs, which that little line right there, for other drugs. He refused to do any tests for other drugs. So let me just say this, okay? I think that Tiger, in my opinion, needs to step away and really focus on the main parts of his mental health here. Because I mean, no offense, Tiger, you're not the same Woods that we used to see back in the day. Being taking over golf one golf course at a time here. I mean, this isn't the same Tiger. This is a different Tiger that I don't like seeing, and it's pretty clear that something's going on here. So I'm hoping that he's taking this all seriously. We wish him nothing but the best in health, but Tiger, my man, you you got some work to do, unfortunately. What is it with golf, like golf players, and like they can't stay out of jail? Didn't Scheffler get in jail because he fucking got in a fight with cops? The fall off is sad, and hopefully he can gather his. Hopefully, but again, it's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing. But didn't Scheffler get in trouble with cops here a while ago? Like he got in trouble with cops, and then hours later he was released, and he won the fucking tournament. It was like that day. Like I couldn't even believe the headline when I read it. It was like they released his mugshot and everything, and yet moments later he's wearing the fucking jacket that he won. But no, like I said, we'll see what happens with Woods. Hopefully it all turns out for the better. All right, we are going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we have the NCAA men's, women's, and we have the NCAA men's and women's Final Four. We'll talk about those matchups and, of course, who we have as the favorites in that. Not only that, but we also have the NBA playoff picture. We'll talk about how the East seeding is wide open and how even one game could change the whole playoff seeding there. But however, three teams in the West are fighting for the fifth, sixth, and seventh seed. We'll give you guys our hidden gems and standouts as we head towards the NBA playoffs. Not only that, but we'll also have our first mock draft. And of course, tell you guys who the Giants, Bills, and Jets are picking. And of course, who we got going number one. And then, of course, the return of Around the Diamond. We'll check in on the Yankees and the Mets as they start their 2026 MLB season. So stay with us live right here on BW Radio, the number one Syracuse Sports Radio, right here on YouTube. Welcome back to BW Radio, the number one Syracuse Sports Radio right here on YouTube. So we'll be back with you folks once again. This segment of BW Radio is brought to you guys by our friends at Fanatics.com. Whether you guys are checking out Fanatics.com or downloading the new Fanatics app, folks, Fanatics.com is your one-stop shop for everything sports. Folks, the MLB season is underway. That doesn't mean you guys can't get the best apparel to represent your teams. Not only that, but folks, the FIFA World Cup is officially coming upon us, and you guys need to start representing your team. So whether you're representing Team USA, Team England, or any of the other fantastic teams that are going to be in the World Cup, you guys need to get your gear over at Fanatics.com. Whether you guys are representing your favorite sports leagues from the NBA to the NFL to MLB to NHL to NCAA to MLS to WWE and more, check it out at Fanatics.com or download the new mobile app today and start earning fan cash that you guys can use towards future purchases today. That's Fanatics.com. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. I gotta tell you something. We now have like these little bits that we can read in between here. And I gotta tell you something. I'm kind of irritated by one of the things that I'm reading here, and I probably should save it for the Around the Diamond segment, but honestly, the fact that I saw this kind of drives me nuts. Have you guys ever had. Okay, this is going to be the most random question ever. You guys ever had fried chicken? You know how, like, you guys had, like, KFC or, like, just any fried chicken in general? Well, the Yankees this year decided, hey, we got a great, fantastic treat that we can give to the fans. Oh yeah, what's that? Well, let's give the fans a new dessert that they're gonna love. You're not gonna fucking believe this. The Yankees will have a mini dessert called the Chicken Bucket at home games this season. But it's not actually chicken. It's drumstick shaped ice cream with a chocolate covered cookie bone center, a coating of white chocolate, and what the fuck am I reading? Pretty much, it looks like fried chicken, but really it's ice cream. And this is not a joke. The Yankees are legit selling these at their home games this year. Um, what the fuck did I miss from 2025 that now we have this in 2026? This is the kind of news that we get handed early in the morning for B-Down Radio? I miss the Screaming Goat. I wish we had our soundboard again. Don't worry, we're gonna work on getting that back. But anyway, uh, what is the need for all this? Just sell ice cream? Yeah, honestly, I agree. I mean, if you guys look on the internet right now, it's on Twitter. It doesn't even look that good, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's get back to the sports talk now, shall we? This I'm gonna BW Radio, of course, is the Fanatics.com breakdown. Of course, once again, this is brought to you guys by our friends at Fanatics.com. Of course, the one thing that we're gonna be talking about in the Fanatics breakdown is, of course, the men's and women's Final Four for the NCAA tournament. And obviously, the most unpredictable Final Four, because honestly, I didn't have any of these teams making it to the Final Four. We have the Illinois Fighting Illini taking on the Yukon Huskies. Both teams, of course, coming off big wins in the tournament after Illinois eliminated Iowa in a 71-59 victory. And then, of course, the Yukon Huskies making it to the Final Four with the big upset win over Duke with a 73-72 win there. Of course, both of these teams, of course, have their leaders, of course. This is going to be one of the biggest things that we're going to talk about here. Don't worry, we're going to talk about the Duke fumble here in a minute. But can you guys believe this? Like, I never would have expected these two teams to honestly make it. I didn't have UConn making it out of that side of the bracket, and I damn well didn't have Illinois whatsoever. I was not expecting either one of these two teams to make it, but they have the talent. Of course, we're going to talk about UConn heavily here for a minute because they're my picks to win this game. Even though it says here that Illinois is the favorite to win this game by 59%, thanks to our friends at ESPN. And of course, uh, okay, I gotta be honest with you here. I think UConn has a much better chance of winning this game than friggin' Illinois does. So I don't understand how Illinois is the favorite. But the reason being is because we need to talk about that big fumble that happened when UConn went up against Duke, the heavily favored Duke Blue Devils, in what had to be one of the most bonehead plays of all time. And yes, I'm going to steal a Peyton Cash term here. A bonehead play. Instead of dribbling the ball and taking a foul, Boozer decides, hey, I'm going to try and chuck this thing to the other side of the court. It gets deflected. UConn gets it. And Mullins hits the 35-foot game winner to give UConn the 73-72 victory. And I got to tell you something. One of the most bonehead plays of all time. It was legit 44-29 at half. UConn had to score 44 points in the second half to come back and win it. It was an insane shot. I couldn't believe he made it. But Boozer, on the other hand, what a fucking bonehead. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just dribble the ball out? Like, why wouldn't you take the foul? It was pretty clear UConn was coming over to foul him. They were. There was two guys right there. If he was going to attempt the pass, he probably should have just dribbled it and taken the out. But no. He decides, let me try and chuck this thing across the court. It doesn't work out that way. I mean, it was the most stupid play in basketball, honestly. That had to be one of the dumbest plays I've ever seen Duke make in the NCAA tournament. But that's besides the point. We need to talk about the other team, UConn. They had to battle back from a huge deficit. They did. They battled back. They were able to come up with the win. That's why I think UConn isn't a team that everyone should sleep lightly on. Even though that they have the better record than Illinois and everyone is favoriting Illinois by a lot in this game, I need to tell you something. Don't count out the Huskies. Every time we've counted out the Huskies, they've always found a way to come back and win. They have a history of making it farther in this tournament. And that's the thing. Every time people have voted against the Huskies, they somehow find a way to keep getting back into the Elite Eight, into the Final Four, into the Sweet 16. It's like UConn just has like this way of doing things. And yeah, it's always when we count them out. I will never understand the Husky team of like counting them out. I will never understand it. Good morning, Noble. So look, I'm going with UConn. UConn's my pick. They're gonna go to the championship game. Okay, I think that Illinois is way too overhyped. I think that UConn is gonna ride that huge victory. I think that UConn is going to ride the momentum. I think they're going to have the better defense. They're going to have the better ball movement. They have better 3-point shooters. I just think that UConn has the team that can make it to the championship game. Now, talking about the other game, which is more difficult to pick. And you want to know why it's more difficult to pick? It's because legit ESPN has it that neither team has the edge in this one. It's legit a 50-50 on who can win this. It's legit a 50-50. It's the number one Michigan Wolverines taking on the number one Arizona Wildcats. Both teams have been playing great basketball the entire college basketball season. The Wildcats should be heavily favorited here. But the team that I picked to win the national championship, which is Michigan, just continue to stay in it. And how do I know this? It's because they put a throttling on Tennessee. They put a whooping on Alabama. They they're not here to fuck around. They're here to win. But so is Arizona. And you guys are probably like, well, Radio, how do you know Arizona's for real? Well, usually when you see a team score 109 points and hold an opponent to 88, and then they take down one of the heavily favorited teams in Purdue, I mean, there is a reason that this pick is just so difficult. I'm going to go with Michigan because I picked them to win the national championship. But I honestly think that whoever wins this game wins the national championship. I do. I honestly think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I think it's going to come down to one play that's going to change this entire game. I really do. I think that these teams are too evenly matched, both on the defensive side of the basketball and on the offensive side of the basketball. I just think that neither team really has the advantage here. I mean, they are close in every single stat. It's unbelievable. So that's why it's so difficult when making these picks. Like you got to look at every single aspect of the game. Realistically, I think that Arizona has a better attack, but Michigan has a better defense. I just think that Michigan's defense is going to make a play, and that's going to be what determines the whole outcome. Even though I do think that Arizona has great ball awareness, like in rebounding and of course in the assist game, but still, it's going to be close. It's going to come down to the wire. And that's why it's so difficult when trying to determine the winner of this game. But I'm going to go with Michigan. Although I do think, like I said, it's probably going to come down to the wire in this one. You really are not going to be able to make heads or tails of it. You know what I'm saying? Um. So yeah. So then we have Michigan versus UConn in the national championship, and then I got Michigan winning it all. I think they're going to put their boot on whoever's in that championship game. Yes, that is true. They do have a great, talented freshman, but at the same time, I think that Michigan has also been through the ringer when it comes to going up against teams like this. I mean, no offense, when you can sit there and say, "Yeah, I handled a talented Alabama team, and I've handled a talented Tennessee team," I honestly think it's legit going to come down to one play. I think that one play determines it all. But yeah, I have Michigan and UConn, and I have Michigan winning it all. But that's not the only NCAA tournament going on because we also have the women's side of the NCAA tournament, including the matchup of all matchups, in which it's going to be South Carolina taking on UConn, the undefeated UConn Huskies taking on the rough and tough South Carolina Gamecocks. And obviously, no shocker here, UConn is the heavy favorite. And it's mostly because of that player's strong. Dude, she fucking strong. Like I watched that matchup, which by the way, I have a comment. I'm gonna talk about Syracuse's women's coach here in a minute because her comments the other day pissed me off. But I'll get to that in a minute. So strong, just so talented. UConn pretty much has a WNBA team at this point. I mean, Gino over there building a WNBA team on a college team. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, do you want to hear how bad the matchups have been? Syracuse, they won 98 to 45. North Carolina, they won 63-42. Notre Dame, they won 70-52. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like I don't even know how you can slow Strong down. I mean, she's just so talented. She's just so tough when driving to the basket too. But not to say that South Carolina ain't strong either. They got Edwards there. Yeah, it's too easy. If you saw that Syracuse game where they put a whopping on Syracuse, holy shit! It was. All right, I'm gonna hold on. Let me preference this right now. Not making fun of anyone, but holy shit! It was like a WNBA team playing against a bunch of high schoolers who are just learning to play basketball. It was that bad. And you guys can say, "Oh, the score wasn't." Yeah, no, it was bad. FUD too. Holy shit! I don't know how you slow down North Carolina. I really don't. Or North Carolina. I mean, I don't know how you slow down UConn. Jesus Christ, my head's in all over the place. I don't know. I mean, this is a battle of two great coaches. This is a battle of two great teams. So hopefully it comes down to something. But Jesus Christ, I don't know how you slow down UConn. They're probably going to win it all. But again, we do have the other matchup, of course, which is the Texas Longhorns taking on the UCLA Bruins, which, by the way, I have the Bruins winning that one. I mean, no offense. Betts has been the fucking leader on that team. UCLA, she dropped 17 points. Although I think that matchup between her and Madison Booker is going to be a very interesting one to watch. But I think UCLA walks away in that one. Yeah, you can definitely say that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she is something else. I mean, honestly, you can go either one in that matchup, but I mean, whoever it is, they're gonna fucking run right into UConn. You're gonna run right into UConn. It don't matter. I still have UConn obliterating this whole tournament. Um, but yeah, holy shit! Like we're in for a very exciting ending here, and I'm gonna say this right now. Okay. So I want to talk Syracuse women's basketball here for a minute because honestly, I'm gonna fucking unleash on the head coach here, and she knows damn well why I'm gonna unleash. So, Syracuse women's basketball coach, Miss Felicia, we need to have a chat because apparently we need to have a chat about how the brackets work and your comments, in which I have her comments. I have her comments right here. I'm going to play those comments and I'm going to respond because this woman, and I'm trying to be as nice as I possibly can about it, she does not understand how the fucking brackets work. She does not. And apparently, she doesn't understand how home court advantage works either. And again, I'm trying to be as lenient about this as I possibly can. Felicia Jack, I'm saying this as nicely as I possibly can. Her comments were this, and I'm gonna turn up the audio for this, and I want you guys to hear how she sounds. She does make a point, but I want you guys to hear this.
To touch my heart and help me speak kindly about this opportunity. but also have a responsibility. And when I tell my players to woman up, I think I have to do the same thing. And for us to be coming from a 12 and 16, 18, whatever season last year, okay, let's judge me on this season. For us to do what we've done, to continuously have to come to UConn and every single school that I go to, from Buffalo to is unfair to the young people. I don't know what it is. Somebody said, is there something that they might have against me? If that's the case, then we need to communicate about that. But for us to be what we've done in our body of work, to have to come and play that best team in the country. I mean, Gino has this thing going, and he is, I love what he's done, but I thought, deserved a little more respect after being in this business for 37 years, and to have to come and be in this particular bracket every freaking year is unacceptable. It's wrong. It's somebody, and if you're on the committee and you've been around for more than a year or two or 5 to 10 or 15 years, you understand what that looks like. I've been on those committees to see how it's done, how you can put people on different lines, put us on get a 10 line, get whatever. But for us to continue to come to Connecticut year after year after year is, to me, it's a personal attack.
Okay. So allow me to respond to this. Do I think that it's bullshit that Syracuse, every single time, whenever they play in women's basketball, that for the third straight NCAA tournament that they've been, they get obliterated by UConn in UConn's home court? Do I think that that's bullcrap? Honestly, yes, because in some form of the way, it should be a neutral site. There should be no home games. Unless your team makes the NCAA tournament and your home court is designated as a neutral site, you shouldn't have home court advantage. With that being said, though, Felicia, allow me to be as nice as I possibly can, because I am ready to tear you a new one after those comments. You can't blame UConn, and I'm going to put this in as nicely as I possibly can, because I know I'm probably going to get torn apart, and this is going to get torn apart wrong here. But when you only score 8 points in the first fucking quarter, while UConn dropped 33 on us, and our field goal percentage for the game was 33%, only shooting 6%, going 1 of 18 from behind the arc, with 20 plus turnovers, and the largest lead that UConn had on the night was 58. And I watched that game. You want to talk about being a tough team, and you want to talk about how you work your butt off. Well, the game that I watched, Syracuse couldn't even make a fucking layup. And I'm saying that as nicely as I possibly can. The stats are shit. Yeah, no, they are. When you airball a layup, when you airball a hook shot, when you airball a 3-point shot, when you're constantly turning the ball over and over and over and over, when your team can't even hit a fucking 3-throw to save their life, I don't really think the blame is on UConn and the home court advantage. I think it's on you for not preparing this Syracuse team to be ready to go up against a tough opponent. Because for some reason, these girls didn't play fucking defense worth a shit. UConn, every single possession, either attacked a wide open court, was draining threes like it was fucking nothing, was passing the ball, was fighting for every single rebound, and your team looked like a high school team that was just looking to get back into good graces here. And what I mean by that is your team looked like a bunch of high schoolers who just learned how to play basketball for the first time. And I'm being as nice as I possibly can because I'm showing respect to the ladies that were on the court. They tried their hardest. I'm not going to give them as much shit. But holy motherfuck, when you airball a layup numerous times, I have a problem. I'm not going to lie, that should have been your last game because you have an excuse every fucking year. And that's me being as nice as I can be about this. Anytime we are in the tournament and we lose, you have a fucking excuse other than, oh, we need to get better. Prove me the fuck wrong. Every press conference, after every time Syracuse is eliminated, she has to bitch about something. She does. I'm not kidding. Look it up. 2021, 2024, 2026. Look it up. She's bitching about something. And she mostly blames the fans. Well, this time you can't blame the fans. There's no accountability. I'm surprised how the AD didn't fire her. The only reason they didn't fire her was because she was the only head coach to get a team into a tournament this year or into a freaking playoff other than what the men have done and what anything else. That's the only reason she's sticking around. And I heard, and I also listened to the commentators. They were like, "Oh, everyone's gonna want to come play at Syracuse." No, everyone's gonna want to go play at UConn because, no offense, ain't nobody gonna want to come play for Syracuse when you only put up 12 points in the first half, while UConn has fucking 65. It was 65-12 at half. And you're gonna sit there and say, "Oh, it's because we were playing on UConn's home court." It was because we were in. It's because every single year, this and that, blah 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 blah. Blah. Felicia, I'm giving you the utmost respect. You've done a lot for the Syracuse women's basketball team, and I thank you for that. I'm not saying you don't do enough to try and improve this team. I'm not. I'm legit, really not trying to diss you. But when your excuse every single year is it's either the fans or the NCAA, and after that piss poor performance, if I was the new AD, I would have fired you. That was ridiculous. That had to be the most embarrassing loss I've seen Syracuse take in a while. And trust me, I've seen how the fucking Syracuse men's football team played this past year. And trust me, oh, was it bad. Oh. You want accountability? Take fucking accountability. Say, look, my team didn't play good. We played one of the best teams in the nation. This is what happened. This is what happened. And this is where we can improve. That's the thing as a head coach. You got to be able to say, look, yes, my team played like shit, but here's how we can improve. Here's how we can get better. This is how we can improve ourselves. This is how we can rebuild what we have. You whining and bitching every fucking year about what side of the bracket you're on, how many fans show up to the games, how, like, just give me a break. Take accountability. Say, look, I didn't coach these girls the right way. This is what happened. We got our ass handed to us. We got beat. Wah, wah. Go into next season. Try and do better. Honestly, I'm surprised how she isn't fired. That's me being for real. She should have been fired after that. I mean, if you guys watch the highlights of that, oh my god. It was airball after airball after airball. There was even a block in there somewhere. Take some accountability. Shut up. Pain in the ass. All right, let's move off the college basketball and let's go to some professional basketball here because I want to talk some NBA. I finally want to talk some NBA after a while because I know that some of the guys in the chat love the NBA, including one who is the biggest ass sucker of the Los Angeles Lakers in CMW. And yes, I called you an ass sucker. Deal with it. But look, I mean, this is my show. I like having fun on YouTube. I can swear. Um, so look, obviously, playoff race is insane. The playoff race is insane. The East is so insane right now. It's not even funny. Oh bullshit! You were a Lakers ass sucker the other day. Don't you start. Your profile picture in Discord is legit you with Luca. I don't want to hear it. Anyway, the East is wide open because legit. I don't know how many games are left, but it's legit from fourth all the way to 10th. They are battling for position on where they're going to land. And obviously, a few of these teams are going to be in the play in, and I think there's no changing that. But again, wins and losses kind of determine the seeding here and who's playing who. So they're still trying to figure it out in the East. Pretty much here's what we got. So we have the Pistons, Celtics, and Knicks are officially in the playoffs. Nope, that is not true, Noble. From what I got here, according to my stats that I have here on my handy dandy stat book here, it says here that the current playoff picture is from fourth place all the way to 10th place in the East, with them still trying to figure out the seeding. Meanwhile, in the West, we have the Thunder, Spurs, Lakers, and Nuggets already clinching, with the Clippers, Blazers, and Warriors already clinching their play-in spots. However, three teams are battling for their position with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Houston Rockets, and then of course the Phoenix Suns. There. Now, currently, the playoff picture at this moment, as it stands, the Thunder and the Pistons will get a first round. Well, obviously they gotta wait for the play-in to see who they're gonna play, but by the looks of it, they get to wait and see who they get to play here. As they currently sit at number one with the best conferences here. Then by the looks of it here, I mean this is gonna be insane. This is gonna be insane. So the current matchups at this moment are Nuggets, Timberwolves, Lakers, Rockets. Spurs are going to play the seventh seed of the play-in. Thunder are going to play the eighth seed of the play-in. On the east side, Pistons have locked down the number one seed. They're going to play the eighth seed of the play-in. Cavaliers, Hawks, Knicks, Raptors, Celtics are going to face off against whoever wins the seventh seed. This is going to be huge. These next few games are going to determine who's really the top dogs in the playoffs here. And I got to tell you something. As much as it pains me to say this, we have some hidden gems in the playoffs, and of course, we have the standouts. Which the standouts, of course, are no shocker here. The standouts that I have are the Spurs, Celtics, Lakers, and Cavaliers because obviously they're known for playoff success, and of course always have magic runs somehow. Which, by the way, I'm just pointing this out now. And you guys are gonna hear me bitch about this, but I don't care. I'm gonna make a couple of comments here because I've missed a lot since I've been. I heard that the Boston Celtics have Jason Tatum back. And I heard that he's been playing efficiently. And I just want to say this, I don't think he should have been allowed to play this year, especially with his injuries. I mean, no offense, you can't sit there and tell me, oh yeah, he's going to be out for the season. And then he comes in and plays towards the end of the season. Yeah, but you know what's going to happen? The fucking Celtics are going to do this whole, big redemption story. Tatum comes back and saves the Celtics. No, I'd rather they go out in the first round and we call it a season for the Celtics. That's what I'd rather hear. That's me being honest with you. Call it what you will, call it pettiness, but I mean, come on. I mean, look, I'm gonna be as honest and forward as I can here with this. I think that Jason Tatum should be riding the bench like a few other players. I mean, he can't be listed as out for the season and then come in towards the end of the season. I mean, it makes no sense. Okay, so if that's the case, and why isn't the Pacers bringing back? Why isn't the Pacers bringing back their one golden goose here in friggin' Halliburton there? You can say Jaylen Brown carried them, but I mean, come on. You know the whole redemption story is going to be based around fucking Tatum. You know it, and I know it. You know how ESPN and all these other sports sources are going to cover this. Yeah, Halliburton. Yeah. Like, you know that's how they're going to spin the whole story. It won't matter if he carried them the whole season. They're going to be like, oh, in the playoffs, well, fucking Tatum's the magic hero because he was able to come back from injury and help carry the Celtics to a championship. In which I'm going to be like, oh boy, here we go. We get to listen to ESPN sucking the ass of the Celtics for another goddamn summer. And look, you can call me petty all you want. I really don't care. I'm being as honest as I can be here. You know damn well that's what's going to happen. Because it happens every fucking time with this team. But in reality here, right, kind of getting back to it, right, in a way, getting back to it, I think the Thunder and the Pistons are in prime position to be one of the top teams in the playoffs this year. And the reason that I say that is because the Thunder are still riding the high of their first NBA championship. I think the Thunder still look good, even though they've had some slip ups. They haven't been playing their best basketball as of late, but still, I still think that they're one of the top teams in the West to knock out. But the Pistons, they are fully revitalized here. This is a different Pistons team than we've seen in the past couple of years. We've been waiting for moments like this from the Pistons to happen for a while. You know, we joke all the time saying, oh, yes, the Pistons are going to be one of the worst teams this year, you know, mark it down, this and that. This season, they said, hey, we're going to turn it around. Yeah, they may have lost Cade, but I mean, realistically, they can still ball, you know? But my hidden gems in this year's tournament for teams to pay attention to, and you guys are going to be like, well, these aren't exactly hidden gems, but they are because I know any playoff run that they have is going to be under the radar here. So I have the Knicks, Timberwolves, and Nuggets. The reason that I have them as hidden gems is because, and the reason that I'm saying this is because The Knicks somehow every single year fight to get back into the playoffs, but yet somehow still choke it in the end. I'm kind of hoping this year's different. I'm kind of hoping that they show a little bit more fight, especially with the team that they have this year. Even though they're coming in as a 3 seed based on their record, I still think that the Knicks can still turn something out in this year's playoffs. I still think the Knicks have a team that can go on a run here with Brunson and of course that entire Knicks team. They just need to find the right chemistry when it comes to the playoffs. Timberwolves. I mean, the reason that I picked the Timberwolves is because it seems like every year they get into the playoffs and it just seems like something bad happens to the Timberwolves where they just can't shake off whatever they're going through. It's like every single time you're kind of hoping, okay, Minnesota's going to do something good this year, especially when working around Edwards and of course that whole team. But I mean, it's like they still can't get that going, and I don't understand it. But yet they have a talented team there, especially with him, Randall, and of course Gobert. I still think realistically here that the Timberwolves are a playoff team that we shouldn't sleep on, even though they're going up against the Nuggets. I still think that Minnesota has a fighting chance here to make something happen. But then again, I have the Nuggets as well because I think that the Nuggets are going to do incredible things in the playoffs once they get on a roll. I think that, yeah, like that's the thing. Like the Timberwolves are just that one team that just can't find its stride when it makes it to the big game. Like the conference finals, they should be able to continue being who they are, but yet they always get locked down on defense, and it's like they can't turn it around. They can't shake it off. It's weird. But when it comes to the Nuggets, I don't ever want to rule them out, especially with Jokic and that whole team. I really don't. Even though they're coming into the playoffs as a 4 seed, I still think the Nuggets have one of the better defenses and one of the better offenses in the NBA. Now, look, obviously that's if the playoffs end today. This is what the whole playoff picture looks like. But I mean, realistically here, we're on the final games of the NBA season in which every game is going to start to matter here because it's really going to be determining playoff positioning here, and teams need to get big wins. And it doesn't matter whether you're the Charlotte Hornets, Miami, Orlando, Philadelphia, Toronto, Atlanta in the East, or whether you're Minnesota, Houston, or Phoenix in the West. Like you're fighting for playoff positioning here, and you can either be going up against a great team. You can either be fighting to try and get into the playoffs, but then again, you're going to have to go up against the tough teams, whether it's the number one and number two. It really determines which matchup you really want here. And obviously, the teams that were eliminated this year, obviously, were the Pacers, Wizards, Nets, Bulls, and Bucks. In the East, none in the West. It was the Grizzlies, Pelicans, Mavericks, Jazz, and Kings. Which, by the way, Mavericks, how's Cooper doing for you? How's your future doing for you? The guy that you guys keep saying is going to change basketball. Yeah, he really changed it this year. Boy, really proved me wrong. If there's one thing that radio knows how to be right in, it's radio knows ball. I was right when it came to Wemby. I was right when it came to Cooper Flag. I'll be right when it comes to whoever the hell the number one pick is in the next draft. Quit putting the label on these guys are going to be the next LeBron. Look what happens. Look what fucking happens. I miss my soundboard. But yeah, no, I just love it when I'm right in this aspect because it's like people argue with me. They're like, "Oh, Cooper Flag is gonna help helped that Mavericks team this entire season. Yeah, he really helped them with a 24-52 record. It's called Wemby the next LeBron. He hasn't won anything yet. He hasn't even won a title. You guys were sitting there telling me, oh, don't doubt Wembanyama. Yeah, no, radio's still right about Wemby. This year's different. He's been playing a lot different. But, I mean, come on. Come on. You're going to try and argue with me about who. I mean, come on. And by the way, I've been asked this already, so I'm going to go ahead and answer it now. If you're going to sit there and tell me that Luka is the MVP, you can get the fuck out now. It's not going to go to Luka. I guarantee it. If you want to base it off the whole season and not just these last few games, which I know is how the NBA works when it comes to these awards, because they really focus on the awards after the All-Star break. If we're going to talk about the whole season, it should go to Wemby. I don't care what anyone says. It should go to Wemby. It's either him, SGA, Edwards, or Luka. Luka, I wouldn't even really put up there. I mean, if we're going the whole season, based on the teams that these guys have, whether it's Luka and a stacked Lakers team, or Wemby in his band of misfits Spurs team, or SGA's, revamped Thunder team, or Edwards' same old Timberwolves team. I mean, realistically, I don't have Luka winning MVP. I really don't. Just because he's been on a points tear lately. Yeah, it's not that hard to go on a points tear when it's the end of the season. I mean, I'm being honest here too. Like no offense, NBA teams like everyone's freaking out. Oh, Luka dropped a big one here. But I mean, come on. Luka's been doing it all season, really. Okay. I want the Luka stat sheet right now. I want to see every game Luka played in. Give me it. I need the Luka stat sheet because there's no fucking way. I'm calling horseshit. So if we're just gonna base it off points, then he really shouldn't have won it. Give me the stat sheet. I want game by game. Because if he didn't drop 38 in every single game, I really don't want to fucking hear it. Where's the game logs? Okay, points here. Points. Didn't drop 30 against Denver, New Orleans. Let's see. March. I mean, he really didn't have a good year. He really didn't have a good month in February. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at February. 26, 22, 25. I thought you were telling me he was averaging 30 points every single game. CMW. Because I'm finding a lot of ones where he did not drop 30 points every single game. And look, the reason that I'm saying it's going to be Wemby, right? And the reason that I'm going to say it's Wembanyama is because he's been the main focal point this entire season. I don't care if he's averaging 33 for the whole fucking season. If he's not dropping that many points per game, it really doesn't matter. Look, in my opinion, right? Listen, here's how I base an MVP, right? Hold on. No. CMW, shush. Here's how I'm basing how the MVP should be determined. Look at the team that Luka has. Look at the all-star filled team of the Lakers versus what the Spurs have. And if you're going to tell me that the Spurs and the Lakers are the same, oh, I am going to tear you a new ass. No offense, you can't tell me that a team that has Kelly Olynyk on it is the exact same team that has LeBron, Reeves. Who else do they got? Who else they got? I know they got more fucking stacked players on there. Who else they got? Give me that goddamn roster. You got one of the greatest of all. What's his name there? Who's the Austin Reeves there? And you got friggin'. I mean, it's really not that hard when you got a young, talented Lakers team to really back you up to drop 33 points compared to a Spurs team that, no offense, and I'm going to be saying this with the most respect that I can, when DeAndre Fox is your second best player and Stefan Castle is your leading assist guy, I mean, come on. Come on. Be for real. Let's be for real here. Come on. Come on. Come on. If you're really going to sit there and tell me that Luka deserves MVP, I mean, but they're so good. Dude, DeAndre Fox hasn't been good in years. I'm surprised that he's still averaging 18 points. I mean, look, I'm not trying to be a dick here when it comes to this, right? When it comes to this debate. Because honestly, I think it's horseshit every single year. I really do. I mean, they've gotten this award wrong so many times. I mean, Luka didn't even win MVP back in 2023 and 2024. He didn't win MVP. Who the fuck they gave it to? They gave it to... Who's the NBA MVP? MVP back in 2024. Or 2023 and 2024. Who was the MVP? Yeah, it was Jokic. Jokic didn't do fucking shit. That's why I think this award is horseshit. I mean, it really is. Jokic won the fucking MVP and he was 10th in scoring. He was 10th in scoring. And he still won MVP. Oh, jeez. I mean, come on. Ay, ay, ay. Look, to really cap off this whole segment, because we need to take another commercial break here, but we're in for a wild ride for the NBA playoffs, and honestly, I don't care who wins MVP, to be honest with you. Because, in my opinion, when it comes to the MVP, it's all horseshit anyway. It's a gigantic fan vote. So, yeah, probably fucking Luka will get handed it and fucking cement his legacy, I guess, which honestly he doesn't really have much of a legacy if he doesn't have a championship by now. But that's just my opinion. Um alright. We gotta take a commercial break. When we come back, we have our mock draft. We're gonna talk some NFL football as we get ready for the draft coming up. Not only that, but we gotta do around the diamond. We'll check in on the Yankees and the Mets. and so much more. So stay with us live right here on BW Radio, the number one Syracuse Sports Radio, right here on YouTube. I just realized my mic was muted this whole time. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh, yeah, yeah. What a return. Um, this is the best show we've ever done. Um, anyway, we're doing our mock draft, and of course we had Mendoza going number one on the Raiders. Obviously, that was pretty clear that was going to happen. We had David Bailey going to Texas Tech, from Texas Tech to the Jets. We had Sonny Styles going from Ohio State to the New York Giants. Like I said, I thought the Giants could go with Jeremiah Love, but I also think that Sonny Styles, if he's available, I think that'd be the best pick for the Giants. I had McCoy going to the Jets after the Jets traded for that pick. Uh, I did have some surprising ones on here. I had Lemon going to the Lions. I had Falk going to the Steelers. I had Cooper Jr. going to the Chargers. I had Caleb Banks going to the Bills. What was another big name here? I think it was Denzel Boston out of Washington. I had him going to Kansas City. I had the Patriots picking up another defensive lineman. I had them picking up McDonald out of Ohio State. I can't believe my mic was muted that whole time. I should probably reiterate this. A big thank you to our sponsors, of course, at Vivid Seats. Make sure you folks check out vividseats.com. Make sure you folks check out all that. I can't believe my mic was muted. You gotta love when you're having technical issues in your first show back. You gotta love it. But yeah, no, sticking with the NFL here, I like this year's draft has to be the most lackluster in terms of players I think I've ever been interested in. Like, I'm not kidding. The quarterback pool is so small this year, but yet every other position is just so much wider. Like the running backs and the wide receivers. Like even the defensive players, like they at least have 2 pages. You go to fucking quarterbacks, they only get 1 page worth of news on them. It's the most lackluster year for freaking the draft, honestly. I might fall asleep before the draft really even gets going. It's just so lackluster this year. Like usually when we do a mock draft, we're happy about it. We're like, oh yeah, like see, yeah, look at this, yeah. We know what the hell we're talking about. This year, it's like, man, fuck it. Just gonna take a random guess as to who picks who. The only name that we really care about is who the Raiders are picking at number one, and it's pretty clear. It's Mendoza. Before I get yelled at for messing up his name. I don't know. It's just like something about this year's draft doesn't really interest me like it used to. Like it's so lackluster. It's not even funny. Like yeah, there's a couple of guys in there that are interesting, like Mendoza, Love, Styles, Downs, Banks, Lemon, Falk. I mean, yeah, there's a few, but at the same time, it's like man, nothing really catches my eye this year of who's who. And yeah, I always hear people saying, "Oh, this is the best year to grab someone." No, the fuck it ain't. I'm trying to be as nice as I possibly can. This is the worst year to grab someone. Like honestly, like the pool is so small in terms of trying to grab a good player. It's insane. It's ridiculous. Even I can't believe it. But I know that if I had my experts in here, they'd probably argue with me. They'd be like, "No, this is the best year, and here's why." And I'll be like, "Yeah, fuck you." Not really. But yeah, that's our little draft thing. If you guys want to check it out, we'll probably post it on Twitter or something later. But all right, get that off my screen. Jesus Christ. By the way, that's not the only piece of NFL news that we got. The other piece of news is that the Jaguars are going to be moving to Orlando for the 2027 part of the season because their stadium is getting renovated. We thought that the Jaguars were moving to Orlando. Turns out we were wrong. They're only going to play a season there because their stadium is getting renovated in Jacksonville. So they'll be back, but I don't know who the hell sent me a thing that said, "Oh, Jacksonville's on the move." Yeah, it's for one season. I'm sitting there telling everyone in my server, "Hey, did you guys hear Jacksonville's going to become the Orlando Jaguars?" And it's like, "No, that's going to be their temporary home." I was like, "Oh, good to know." Here I am feeling like an asshole. Thanks. Bunch of bastards. By the way, I got asked a question of for the NFL season, do I think the Giants are going to be on the rebound? I'm not saying a damn thing about the Giants until, like I said, I am not making any comments on the Giants until I see success. That's all I'm going to say. Um so let's talk FIFA World Cup. The group stages are now set. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is now set. Team USA, they're going to be playing in Group D. They'll be playing against Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. Meanwhile, some other big names here as England will be playing in Group L against Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. Let's see who it's. Canada, they're going to be playing against Qatar, Switzerland, and Bosnia, I believe is what we have here. Mexico, they're going to be playing. Where's Mexico? They're one of the host countries. Where's Mexico? Oh, there they are. Mexico is going to be in Group A. They're going to be playing against South Africa, South Korea, and wow, my vision sucks today. Who are they playing? I'm going to butcher it, so I'm not even going to attempt it. But definitely some interesting groups here, especially with Argentina. There, Argentina's in a very interesting group. They got Austria and Jordan. Take a look at France. They got Iraq, Norway. I mean, there's some very interesting groups here. Someone already asked me, do I think Team USA is going to win it all? Yeah, okay. Team USA can't even kick the ball the right fucking way. They got demolished the other day. They ain't gonna fucking win it. I mean, no offense, when it looks like I can kick a ball better than they can, I mean, Jesus, yeah, fucking. No, I shouldn't say that because then I'll get yelled at by my friends later. But yeah, I mean, it was insane. All right, let's go to Around the Diamond. Of course, the Around the Diamond segment, of course, is one of our favorites because we check in on the Yankees and the Mets. to see how they're doing to start the MLB season this year. And let's check in on these two teams as the Yankees currently are 4-1, tied with the Blue Jays for the first in the American League East. But checking in on the National League East, the Marlins are ahead in that one with a 4-1 record. The Mets, Nationals, and Braves are tied with a 3-2 record at the moment. Big opening day for both teams, for both the Yankees and the Mets. They both won. Then, of course, the Mets doing what they do in spectacular fashion, which is choking it, and they'll probably be one of the worst teams this year. We're in for a fun ride, and we haven't even started the season fully yet. Let's go. Already, the Athletics are the worst with a 1-4 record, tied with the Rockies and the Padres. Baseball is just underway, and I'm already bored of it. I heard about the challenges that they have now. That the um that the new challenge system in MLB is already making the games longer again, which is funny. Because it was like someone, I guess, like they challenged it twice or like they had to use a challenge twice and they fucking won it both times and it changed the whole outcome of the game. Yeah, we know about the Dodgers. They're 4-1. Shocker. No shocker there. But I mean, we're in for a wild ride with baseball this year. I don't know why. I feel like every time we're gonna check in on baseball, it's just gonna be insane the amount of stats that we're gonna see. But all right, so let's talk for a minute because now we've come to the towards the end of the show here. I was gonna try and get in another segment here, but I don't think I had enough for another segment, unfortunately. So let's talk for a minute. Okay. Let's spin some tales here. So look, I'm happy to be back. Happy to be behind this microphone. We're gonna try and be doing this show as much as we possibly can. And the reason that I'm saying that is because you're either gonna catch us over on Twitch, doing our thing over there with this model, or you're gonna catch us here doing whatever, or you guys are gonna catch us doing a lot of stuff with WrestleArc and the RWL. I just want to let people know that I think we're back to being in a good place. We got a new schedule for ourselves that we're going to be posting in our Discord server later to be like, hey, this is what our schedule is going to look like when it comes to doing things on our days off the way that we're going to do them. And hopefully the guys will understand that that's the way that I'm going to operate from now on because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I haven't exactly been the best when it comes to my mental health and stuff lately. And I got to start taking my health and everything a little bit more seriously. So, um, I mean, heck, I got like no sleep last night. My stomach was killing me. So, look, here's all I'm going to say, right? We're going to look at 2026 as a rebound year where we're going to bounce back. We've been in tougher spots. We can bounce back. We've always bounced back. We can do it. I just don't want to be missing a whole bunch of shows. I want to keep this as consistent as I can be. I want to keep doing this for as long as I can. I want to make sure that I'm going to try and prioritize this podcast as much as I possibly can. And look, I'm not saying this to be a jerk. I'm saying this to, like, yes, we are part of a great wrestling podcast. Yes, we have a great fantasy booking podcast. But realistically, I want to focus on stuff that I also want to do, which is this podcast, my Twitch streams, those I want to focus on too, you know? So, I mean, with this new schedule, that's just the way that it's going to be. I'm going to make it as public as I possibly can. I'm going to make it as vital as I possibly can. And that's pretty much where we're going to be at. So, here's the deal. Next week, we'll come back. We'll have a little bit more prepared show. This week wasn't exactly the most best comeback show, but hey, we had to come back. We wanted to come back. I feel like this show needed to come back in order for us to get back on track. So look, here's how this is going to go. Next week, we'll be back. We'll have a whole week of podcasting. We got Wrestle Arc Monday, RWL Tuesday, BW Radio on Wednesday. And we'll just go from there. Alright? So let's take this show as a good first step to getting back on track. Alright? Alright. So, if you guys want to check out the other podcasts, here is, of course, the list that you guys can check out. The Wrestler Podcast every Monday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. BW Radio every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube. And then, of course, every other Tuesday at 9 a.m. EST on YouTube. You guys can catch the RWL's War. But, alright. Good first show back. We're gonna learn from our notes and everything, and we're gonna bounce back, alright? So, thank you guys so much for listening to the #1 Syracuse Sports Radio right here on YouTube. Check out our sponsors down below. Make sure you guys check out the BW Radio Network YouTube channel as much as possible for live updates and, of course, other projects. But until next time, y'all, have an awesome rest of your day. This has been BW Radio, and have a good rest of your day. Peace out, everyone. We'll see you guys next week.